Today I want to talk about how to safely work out while pregnant. For me, I was into fitness my whole life, but I really floundered throughout my first 2 pregnancies with fitness. So before my 3rd pregnancy, I became a prenatal and postnatal fitness specialist, and then I felt confident during my 3rd pregnancy to work out. So I actually created a huge prenatal workout series for anyone else who's like me, who was just struggling to figure out what's safe and what's not. I'll put that down in the description, but it includes 90 unique workouts where you only need a dumbbell and a mat. You can do them in the comfort of your home. So today I'm gonna hit those big questions that a lot of moms have prior to starting their prenatal fitness journey. So let's get into it. As always, make sure you're approved by your doctor to be working out while pregnant. The first thing I want to talk about is morning sickness in your first trimester. It's very normal for morning sickness to last all day. And for a lot of women, they're just not doing a lot of movement in their first trimester, and that's okay. If you are able to put on workout clothes and actually get in a workout, it should only have benefits for you and your baby, and you should feel better afterwards. I'm gonna be honest, I worked out about 5 times in my first trimester. So if that's you, it's okay. And just know that you can still get back into fitness in your 2nd and 3rd trimester. What should workout intensity look like while pregnant? Well, you should never be doing max lifts or max efforts anytime during your pregnancy. We have never tested that in pregnant women because it would put those women at risk. So unless you are a professional athlete, which you probably have your own trainer, follow their advice, everyone else, the general population, you should not be doing max lifts during pregnancy. Other than that, workout intensity is going to vary from woman to woman based on your fitness background. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, I'm just going to call them ACOG from here on out, recommend a rate of perceived exertion of between 12 and 14 on the Borg scale. A 12 is 65% effort, a 13 is 70% effort, and a 14 is a 75% effort. This would be considered having a steady pace to a somewhat hard pace. So listen to your body, make smart choices for you and your baby, and just try to find that good balance. You don't have to go super easy, but you don't want to be having some of your hardest workouts while you're pregnant. That's just going a little too hard. How often should you work out during pregnancy? So also according to ACOG, they recommend a total amount of 150 minutes per week. Now, if you're bad at math like I am, that's 2.5 hours. It doesn't matter how you break up that 150 minutes. So you could do 20 minutes one day and 40 minutes the next, but it should be of moderate intensity and aerobic. Aerobic means you're getting your heart rate up and you're starting to sweat. We have a lot of research about aerobic activity. We have a little less on strength training, but from what we do know, moderate strength training throughout your pregnancy is also okay. Can you lie on your back during pregnancy? ACOG used to recommend not doing this, and now we have a few studies out that say a few minutes is okay. During my prenatal workout series, we do prenatal core work at the beginning of most workouts, and we do a lot of it on our back. We're only there for a few minutes and then we get up. I never had any issues with that, but of course, if you're getting lightheaded, then don't lay on your back. The reason we don't lay on our back is there's a major vein that leads back to our heart, and all the weight of our baby and our placenta and all those fluids can slow down that blood flow. So it is okay to lay on your back for a few minutes at least, especially during your workouts if you want to do a little bit of core work. But if lying on your back makes you feel lightheaded, you're going to want to switch positions. How can you avoid injury during pregnancy? Number 1 is to have good form, and that's just not during your workouts, that's during your whole day. So you want to work on your posture if you haven't been doing that already. You want to have good posture throughout your day and throughout your fitness routines while pregnant. You also always want to warm up and cool down to support all your muscles and your ligaments and help them warm up before they really get worked, and then help them cool down so they're ready for the next workouts. You want to pick low impact exercise like swimming or group fitness classes with low impact moves. Weightlifting is fine, but don't do any max lifts. You don't want to do any contact sports. So soccer is going to be out, volleyball is going to be out. I don't even recommend cycling outside. Indoor cycling is fine, but you don't want to be leaning over too much and putting a ton of stress on your stomach tissues. So you can cycle, that is definitely low impact, but just be really cognizant about your stomach. Anything where you are pounding anyone else or you might get hit, you want to avoid. Anything that's lower impact that makes your body feel good afterwards is what you want to aim for. Can you exercise in the heat during pregnancy? The answer is not really. You want to always try to pick a climate-controlled environment. If it's the spring or the fall and really mild outside, that's fine. But extreme heat is not recommended during pregnancy, especially during the first trimester. We have animal studies that show if a maternal temperature gets to 102.2 or above, it increases the chance of birth defects. And just know your body works really, really hard to keep you and your baby cool. So you actually start sweating at a lower temperature when you're pregnant. That's why you're so sweaty and gross during pregnancy, but it's all for the greater good because your body is trying to keep you nice and cool. So avoid getting overheated, especially during that first trimester. Can you run during pregnancy? The answer is yes. If you enjoyed that pre-pregnancy and it still feels good for you during pregnancy, continue to do it. Make sure you strength train, you're warming up and cooling down and stretching. You want to stay hydrated. Also know that your hips and joints are changing, you're gaining weight, and your body is producing a hormone called relaxin that's relaxing out your joints and ligaments. And to just be really careful, being injured and pregnant is the worst. But if running makes your body feel awesome, then you can keep doing it as long as you're doing it safely. I also suggest running on softer ground. So skip the concrete, run on a track, or maybe go on trail runs, but just anything with a little give is gonna help you feel better for longer and keep you safer. If you don't love running, I definitely don't, you don't have to run at all during pregnancy. You can stay in really good shape without running. Does working out cause miscarriages? That answer is no if you're working out light to moderately. So all the research shows that you should be good to go as long as you have your doctor's approval. Research actually shows that it might reduce the risk of miscarriage. If you are a high-risk pregnancy, keep in contact with your doctor. They will probably have specific recommendations just for you, and that is the advice that you need to be following. Can you work your core during pregnancy? That answer is yes. And I did not know this during my first 2 pregnancies. I avoided core workouts. That was wrong. You can safely work your core during pregnancy. You want to be targeting your inner core muscles. It's called your transverse abdominis. So we're skipping the crunches, but we want to be doing a lot of exercises that are keeping this core set nice and tight. It's helping you protect your stomach tissues and keeping your belly in. And yes, it's gonna help you during labor and delivery. So again, we do a lot of prenatal core work in my workout series. I'm gonna make another video soon on how to modify your core exercises as you progress, but that's not out yet. So make sure to subscribe if you aren't already, and that will be coming out soon. Can you lift weights above your head? The answer is yes. And I thought the answer was no during my first 2 pregnancies. So you wanna be lifting weights that are light to moderate in weight, and you just have to have good form. So when you're pressing a weight above your head, you can't be arching, you can't be letting your ribs flare out. You want your posture to remain exactly the same when you go above your head. And if you're using really heavy weights, pushing your weights up and you're starting to struggle, then you are at risk for injury because you're gonna start letting your form go. So I think that's why you might have heard that recommendation, but stick with light to moderate weights and you're just fine. Lastly, when should you stop working out while pregnant? I'm gonna actually read this straight off of the American College of Sports Medicine because I can't say it any better and I can't paraphrase it. If you have persistent excessive shortness of breath that doesn't resolve with rest, you should call your doctor. Every workout, this is a side note from me, you should be recovered within 10 to 15 minutes after every workout. If you're not, if it's taking you a little longer, that means your workouts are too intense. And if it's taking a long time, like this says, you need to call your doctor. Number 2, severe chest pain. Number 3, regular and painful uterine contractions. Now don't get this confused with round ligament pain. They're 2 different things, and round ligament pain is pretty painful. It's a ligament that is stretching out with your growing belly. It feels like a knife almost is in your side. You have to breathe through it, drink water, and then it should go completely away. Versus uterine contractions that are painful, that are all over, that you'll feel continuously. If you feel those, you need to go in and see your doctor. Vaginal bleeding is never good. Persistent loss of fluid from your vagina. And then persistent dizziness or faintness that doesn't resolve with rest. Make sure you are drinking enough water and eating snacks before you work out. So you should be drinking 8 ounces of water for every 15 minutes of your workout. And then you should also be eating a snack about an hour before your workout. So make sure you're fueling your body. And if you are feeling a little dizzy and that cures it, just drinking and eating food, you're probably good to go. But if you're uncomfortable in the least, just call your doctor. Other than that, this video is over. If you have more questions, put them below. I'll try to answer them. And I hope to see you again real soon.